Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here, and I'm here an hour earlier this morning because I have a dentist appointment in about an hour and a half, and I had to move it up. I have been trying to, I have a crack in my tooth, and anyway, it's a long story, but I've been trying to get this appointment scheduled, and this was the first available appointment they had, and I said, okay, I'm going to take it, try to get on the cancellation list, but this is the appointment that I got, and so I'm so thrilled to be here with you this morning, though, and I have a great project today, and this project was inspired by a gift that my sister gave me while I was up in Canada. This was the gift that she gave me. She gave me this Hershey's I call it a chocolate card. And I don't know if this was around for Valentine's Day or not, but it's basically, it's like a box, but it has this front cover that is kind of like a card. Look at, she said, love you, Sissy Poo. This is when I went up to Canada. And, you know, and all the stress with my mom and everything, my sister, how sweet is that? She got everything ready for me in my mom's guest room, and she left me chocolate. Like, that's just so sweet. And my sister is not a paper crafter. She's actually a pretty talented artist, but she's a trauma coordinator at the hospital. And she doesn't have much time for art right now, but she actually does really beautiful watercolors, and she can draw really well. And but she doesn't have time for that right now. And so anyway, she just dropped this off for me in the guest room when I got there. And I thought that was really sweet. But as soon as I saw it, the first thing that crossed my mind was like, oh, I want to make one of those. And I don't think this is a regular product that Hershey's puts out. I have a feeling it was from Valentine's Day. So I have not ever seen this in the stores before. So I wanted to take this and use a Hershey's bar and make my own chocolate card, so to speak. So this is what I came up with. And you'll notice later on, I'll show you, it's a little bit bigger, and then it opens up. It has a tab just like the other one. It opens up, and it's got this card piece. And then right here is where the chocolate goes. And I think it will be better. Well, I can open this up. I glued the one end so it wouldn't come open. But here is where the chocolate bar comes out. So this project, you cannot mail it like a regular card. So I'll just point that out right from the get-go. This would have to probably go in like a padded envelope or something like that to be mailed out, because it is too thick for a regular card. But I just wanted to show you, before I forget, because I am quite forgetful once I get going on my project, this is a regular envelope that, you know, bills and stuff come in. And if you still get paper bills, not everyone does, but I just wanted to measure this real quick. This one is 9.5 inches by 4 1/8 inches. So this actually kind of, it actually fits in one of these envelopes. It's a little bit like shorter, but like if you wanted to take like kind of a traditional office envelope and put this in there like for gift giving, you could, like, so it could kind of look like a card, but if you're going to mail this, you're going to need, it won't mail like a regular card. You won't be able to just put one stamp on it and mail it. So it would be a bigger thing. But the nice thing about this is that it is flat-ish, so it could mail in like a padded envelope and go first class mail. So it is something that, you know, you could mail, and it is super, super cute. I really, really love how this came out, and I'm going to show you how to make it, and I'm going to show you how to decorate it up and everything. So before I jump in and share everything with you, I also wanted to let you know I have a project sheet. It's in progress. I haven't finished it yet, but it will be mailed out on Saturday. If you want this project sheet, you just need to be on my email list. So if you're not already on my email list, make sure you look down below in the description of the video. There is a link to sign up for that. And then on Saturdays, I mail out project sheets for my Friday projects, and that will be mailed out tomorrow. And there will be a diagram in there to show you the pieces and how they come together. And then I also have a host code for this month. Today is the last day of the month, and so I just wanted to point out my special for the paper special is ending. So for every 50 you spend with me this month, you'll get a pack of retired paper that's been cut up to 6x6 and packaged with the name of the paper and everything. You'll get at least 20 sheets in your pack. Usually it's more. And so if you spend $100 in the month, you'll get 2 packs. If you spend, $55, you'll get 1 pack. So it just depends how much you spend. This has always been a very popular promotion from my customers, and I do it every single year. So today is the last day to do that. Please use the host code on the screen, DNZE97FN. And if you are ordering in April, though, I will have a new promotion, and that will be up on my blog tomorrow. I will also send out the new host code in my email tomorrow if you're planning on ordering in April rather than in March. And you'll be able to see my new gift of the month in April starting tomorrow as well. Okay, so now that we're done those housekeeping items, we can move on, and I'm going to show you how to make my project. All right. Already kind of showed off my project, so you kind of know what's going on there. I'm using the Sending Smiles bundle to decorate it. And oh shoot, I think I may have left dies over on the other side of the room. Let me grab those real quick. Just realized that there's a few missing dies. So this is a bundle, and it has dies and stamps. And these are the Sending Dies and the Sending Smiles stamp set, but you can buy them together as a bundle. I'm also using, for this edge right here, that's not a die. That is the Very Best Trio Punch. Just had to double check the name on that. I'm using this corner right here. And just wanted to point out, for this piece right here, I'm using the double oval punch just to create this little tab right there. Okay, I think we have all the ingredients, so let's get started on the project. And we're going to start off by making the piece that, I don't know what I would call it, it's kind of the piece that hugs the chocolate. So we're going to need a piece of cardstock. You choose whatever color you would like. I'm using Gorgeous Grape here. This piece measures 8 3/4 inches by 5 inches. 8 3/4 by 5. And we're going to score this piece on all 4 sides at the 3/8 inch mark and the 3/4 inch mark. So I'm going to stand. I find standing easier sometimes. So we're going to start off 3/8, 3 1/4, turn it, 3/8, not 3 1/4, 3/4, 3/4. Sorry, I always get that one wrong, the way I say it. It sounds good in my brain. 3/8 and 3/4, 3/8 and 3/4. Okay, so it looks like this. It's the same on all 4 sides. Okay, put this down for a moment. And we're going to bring in our cutter, because we have to create, there's 2 slots that we need to create, one on each of the big pieces that we're going to use. So put one of the short sides up at the top. It doesn't matter. This piece is symmetrical. You know, my camera is, it's wonkety from my table to everything. I'm lining it up with the edge of the table, but my camera is askew. So let's see if I can get that a little bit straighter. Okay, so I'm going to line up this end. If you have our trimmer, you can either line up the 3/4 inch mark on this side or that side. I'm going to use this inside one. Just move it over to 3/4, the 3/4 inch mark right there. Okay, and that should also line up this score line right at the 3/4 inch mark as well, because that is where you scored it on the scoring board. So now we're going to do a little slot cut in the center right here. So make sure you have this lifted up, but you're going to move your cutting blade, and we're going to cut from the 3 3/8 inch mark to the 5 3/8 inch mark. So you're going to find, while lifting this up, you're going to find the 3 3/8 inch mark, move your cutting blade over to that mark, and then put it down, and then look kind of, okay, there's the 5 3/8 inch mark. So we're going to kind of come down, come all the way down to the 5 3/8. So once that little line lines up, you can stop, and you can see we've got a little slot right there. That's where the tab is going to tuck in afterwards. Okay, so like to do that first before I do the cutting of the ends, and because that way it's nice and straight and flat. Okay, so now we're going to cut the ends, and this is how you do that. You will want the short side facing you, and you're going to cut along. I'm not going to use the trimmer this time. You're going to cut along the score line to the second score intersection. So right here and right here. So I'm going to do that. I'll show you. This is what it looks like, those two. I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. Like that. To the other short side, I'll do the same thing. It just helps to cut all in one direction first, and then I'm going to go in the opposite direction second. And that. So to the second score line, you can kind of see. Okay, now I'm going to turn it to the long side, and the one that's closest to me, I'm going to cut that one right down to the second score intersection. But the next one, I'm going to come in and just cut off that square. So basically, we're cutting away the 3 corner squares, plus we're creating that little tab right there. Okay, so then I'm going to flip this and going to do the same thing. Just snip that first one away, and then come in and do this one. Okay, then we're going to flip to the other side, do the same thing, cut, and cut. I'm going to flip it over because I like to cut on this side right here. It's easy for me. Cut, and cut. All right, so now you'll notice if you did it exactly like I did it, you'll have these little guys, 4 of them, that are like little inner tabs. Okay, so now what we're going to do with the short side facing you again, we're just going to do a little angle cutting. This is just going to help the tabs tuck in a little better. So just take this outer tab here and just cut it a little tiny bit on an angle, and then do the same thing for these inner tabs. Just take a little bit off on an angle. This is just going to help the tucking process. Okay, see, angle, angle. I'm going to turn this over because it's easier for me to cut on this side, and angle. Now I'm going to the other side and doing the exact same thing. Angle, 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 flip it over, and angle. Okay, so it is completely symmetrical, except for one thing, the slot. The slot is only on one side, so when we bring this together, we're going to have to be very careful about the slot placement, because if it's on the wrong side, it won't work. Okay, so we can go ahead, if you want to do this now, we can fold in along all the score lines. And I'm using my bone folder to smooth down that fold. That just helps make everything nice and crisp. So it really helps to do that. These little tabs need to be folded in as well. All right, and just one last side. Okay, just make sure these are folded down. All right, so this is going to be the piece that kind of hugs the chocolate bar. So now we need to create the card piece. So set this aside for a moment, and we're going to bring in, this is going to be our card piece. So this piece measures 11 inches by 7¼ inches. 11 by 7¼ Bring your scoring tool back in. This is our Simply Scored. And put the long side up at the top. And we are going to score at the 3½ inch mark, the 7-inch mark, and the 7½ inch mark. So 3½, 7, and 7½. Okay, you can kind of see what that looks like. Pretty simple scoring on this one. We also need to cut a slot into this piece. So for this one, the slot needs to be on, see where the double line is? We don't want to put our slot in either one of those. We want it over here on this single line over here, okay? So the first score line that you did at the 3½ inch mark, that's the one you're going to cut into. So we're going to line this back up at the 3½ inch mark. This time I'm lining up right here, 3½. Okay. We're going to keep this up because we're going to cut a slot into here in the center part, okay? Not the whole thing, just part of it. So now we need to find the 2 5/8 inch mark. So I'm going to find that on here while keeping this up. Okay. So I'm just going to line up my little line, bring this down, 2 5/8. We're going to score or cut from 2 5/8 to 4 5/8. So let me find the 4 5/8 inch mark. So we're going to bring this all the way down to there. Okay, yeah, that looks good. 2 5/8 to 4 5/8. All right. So now we can fold this piece also along the score lines. Okay. And then we're going to fold this piece as well. All right. Okay, so we've got our two pieces. Before we bring them together, we're going to punch this piece. I haven't really thought about which way this, when I didn't finish writing my instructions this morning, so I didn't really think about which way would be the easiest to do this, but we're going to go ahead and punch a piece that matches the same as your cardstock we're going to punch that smooth oval. And this piece right here, you can bring back your scoring tool. I'm going to line this up as symmetrical as I can on here. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but you want to kind of get it so it looks kind of straight up and down, with the pointiest end up and the pointiest end facing down. And once you've kind of got that situated and looking kind of like it's facing straight, score at the 3/8 inch mark. Okay, so I'll show you what that looks like in a second. It's not perfectly down the center because the width of our box for the chocolate is only 3/8, so it's going to look something like this. So even if it's not 100% straight, I don't even think mine is, you just want this side here to be 3/8, okay? All right, well, let's hope this all works, right? Okay, so this is our card base. This is the second piece that we scored. Let's fold this along the score line to create our little tab. So this piece is going to come through here. The wider part is going to be in the inside of this piece, and the shorter part is going to be on the outside. I want to show you how this works before. So this piece right here is going to come over and is going to tuck into this box piece afterwards, okay? So this piece has to be shorter. So you just want to have it bent, and you kind of want to make sure that score line is on the edge. The slot is a teeny tiny little bit bigger than your piece. Okay, it's about 1/8 inch on either side. So if you can take a look, and if you can kind of have it centered between the two, that would be ideal, because that will hopefully align you perfectly with the other slot on the other side. Okay, so that's the outside. Okay, so once you've got that situated, you can take this and you can glue this down like this, like this, on the inside, okay? And then this piece should come around and tuck like that, okay? So this flap piece over on this side is going to be glued down. So it's going to give the front of your card a bit of a heavier cover, because it's like a double-sided piece. And this also will hide the edge of the oval, so it will look really nice. Like, I think that looks really nice the way that shape looks. Okay, so what we can do is put a little bit more glue here. This is putting glue all over the center panel here. And then we're going to glue this shut. So that's what the cover piece looks like. Okay, so this is going to be your cover for the chocolate. Okay, so now we get to do this piece. Now here is the only thing that it's not tricky, but you have to remember, our slot right here needs to be on the outside, not on the inside, because it's going to come in and tuck over here. Okay, so when we're doing this, it helps to be a little bit precise. We're going to glue this end, this long tab end is going to be right along the edge over here on this side. Okay, so you're going to want to make sure that the edge, like once this is folded over, it's going to be right along that edge. Okay, so we're going to take glue, put it on that long tab piece. This is the one with the cut in it, and we're going to glue it right along that edge. This is folded over, You also want to make sure that the ends are lined up. I'll show you what it looks like in a second once I get everything aligned. I'm feeling with my fingers too to kind of make sure that score line is right on the end. Let me show you what it looks like in a second. I'm pressing down now with my bone folder. Okay, so let me open this up. Okay, so here is the tab on the inside, and it is right up against the edge right here, okay? And then this is going to be the side right here, okay? So we've basically just glued this right to the edge right here. So now this other tab, if you've aligned that first tab correctly, we're going to put glue on the other side, and then this one, I'm going to press this whole piece flat for a moment, and then we're going to glue this right up against this score line right here. So there's two score lines, but we need this piece is going to be the edge of the card that's going to wrap around. So you want to make sure you hit this score line right here, okay? Not this one right here, okay? So this one, I've got the edge folded over, okay? And I'm going to put glue all along there. And then I'm going to press this flat, okay? So it's not a box right now, it's flat. And I'm going to press it down flat this way, okay? And see how this is lining up with that edge of the score line. I'm going to press down with my bone folder. Just give this a second because I really want this to adhere well. Okay. Okay, once you've got that glued, then you can pop this back over on this side, and now you can see you've got your box. All right, I know this is going to be my bottom end. I don't know why it's the bottom end. I guess because if the card would open, you could also decorate your design this way so it's a vertical design. So what you want to do is, it's better if you glue one end shut. You don't have to, but I decided I was going to glue one end shut. So this end, I'm going to tuck in those little side tabs, and then I'm going to get this ready to tuck in this front piece. And I'm just going to put glue on here. But I'm going to get everything ready so it's ready to tuck in. And now, just need to kind of tuck this in and just press a little bit with your fingers. And then you can take a ruler and just stick it into your box or something and just give it a little bit of a press. This is probably not the best ruler. Maybe my wooden ruler. Don't press too hard on your ruler though, because I'm sure this wooden ruler isn't that unbreakable, right? Okay, so I'm just pressing on that tab end. So now this end piece is a little bit solid and solidified and stuck in there. All right, we're moving right along. So I'm going to steal my chocolate out of my other one so I can show you how I put it in. I only bought one chocolate bar. So let's take a look at the chocolate bar too. This is an XL Hershey's milk chocolate bar. It is 124 grams. So there are different sizes of chocolate bars. Like, make sure you get the large size, the XL size, 124 grams. I put the measurements on my blog this morning. So hopefully you can find those if you want to know how big it measures from side to side, if from this way to this way, if you want to substitute a different chocolate bar. Okay, so make sure when you're putting this in, you've got the bottom kind of wrapped around a little bit, and then slide it in. And then you're going to want to make sure you tuck in that top end as well, because it's going to help when you close it. Okay, so you're just going to side tabs and then just going to tuck this in down like that. Okay, so that is what it looks like undecorated. So let's see. Then this little tab right here is going to come in and tuck into that slot right there. Ta-da! It worked. This is the third time I've done it too, so it looks like it's working each time I do it. So I love that. I love this little tab closure. It's kind of cool. Okay, so let me show you how I decorated the card. So I've got a piece of cardstock here. Let me tell you how much this measures. This is 6 3/8 by 2 5/8. Okay, we're going to take this punch right here, it's called Very Best Trio Punch, and I'm going to turn it this way so that the corner is facing here. The trick with this is you don't want to move the punch. You're going to move the paper each time. And I'm going to show you how to do that, because if you twist your paper around the wrong direction, the little things are going to look a little off kilter. So this is the way I would do it. Start up at the top and punch that one. Then turn it around and punch the other side. Then take it and turn it this way so you have the other side. Punch here and then flip it over and punch there. And that should give you the right curves and everything so that everything matches up really nicely. Okay, we're going to do that one more with another piece of paper, but let's just start off. This is going to be the front. Then I've got another piece of designer series paper. I'm using this beautiful paper that will be retiring soon. It's called the Hues of Happiness paper. It's just gorgeous. It's 12 by 12, lots of beautiful, lovely florals. This piece measures here 6 3/4 by 3 inches. We can take this right now and glue it to the top. This looks pretty just on its own. Okay, but we're going to do a little birthday greeting for this one on the top. So we need to stamp some flowers. And we're going to die cut them. I'm grabbing out Gorgeous Grape, and I'm trying to use colors that are going to be continuing on. We have a color renovation going on, and I love some of the retiring colors, but I want to use colors that you're going to be able to get in the future. And the Sending Smiles bundle will be carrying over as well. So if you're watching this a few months from now, you will still be able to get this for a while longer, the supplies. I'm using Daffodil Delight next. These are all the stamps from the Sending Smiles. These are the little centers I'm stamping for the flowers. Okay. All right, let's run these through the die cutting machine. Bring this in right over here to make some room. Okay, this was from my project. There is a hair stuck there. Okay, let's bring in plates that we need. I've got the base plate number 1. Thin die adapter number 2. I've got a cutting plate. We're going to grab the 2 florals. We'll grab a piece of Daffodil Delight cardstock. I'm going to find my dies that I need. This is going to go through with the words, and then we're going to grab the 2 flower dies. And I'm going to grab a little bit of this Post-it note labeling and Post-it tape real quick so it doesn't move on me. And then we'll do that for this one as well. Grab that. Since I'm not cutting out anything specific, I don't need to put Post-it note tape on my daffodil cardstock. And then I'll just run this through. Okay. Just poke this out. Okay, and there is my word, sending, and our flowers. We'll just pop those out for now. Okay, I will deal with that later. I want to make sure I finish this before 10 o'clock when I have to leave, so don't want to run out of time. But I also want to show you how to do all parts of the project, and so that you understand how to do it. Okay, so let's bring this piece in, and we're going to layer the sending right here, and we'll keep the flowers on reserve. I've got this stem and leaf right here, and I'm actually going to stamp this one. This one also has a die cut piece if you would prefer to stamp and then die cut, or just die cut. I'm going to ink this up in Granny Apple Green. So if you've got this layered like here, and then you just want to kind of leave yourself enough room for both flower heads, maybe about here. Okay. And then we're going to come back in with Daffodil Delight. Actually, you know what we're going to do first? We're going to glue this sending down. So you could take the double-sided adhesive sheets and attach it to the Daffodil Delight cardstock and then run it through. I'm always too rushed to do that because usually I am still deciding what colors to use and I'm not ready to commit to a particular color. So I most often, I will just use Tombow and just put a few dots on there. And then I'll just lay this on here. Just trying to get it so it looks straight-ish. Okay, so it says sending, and then I'm going to do birthday wishes. Just ink that up and stamp that down there. So if I had made a mistake with that birthday wishes, if I had not stamped it straight, we do have these dies right here. That would be an opportunity for you to like just cut a piece and then cover up your mistake right there. But I wanted to stamp the birthday wishes just right down on top of there. So then I'm going to take my sheet of dimensionals is almost done. There aren't any regular dimensionals left, so I've just been kind of cutting the edge pieces to use on the backs of my flowers. So yeah, you can absolutely, and some of these sometimes make nice long pieces for a long piece of whatever you're trying to adhere to a card. So I'm just going to stick this on here like that. And then I'll take the other one and add it over here. Okay. It's looking nice and pretty. Okay, we've got our card situated. So we're gonna just add this right here. Onto here. And I love how this was just such a simple label to make. I didn't have to die cut that long label. It's just the nice little punched shapes. Okay, so let's open this up. And now for the inside here, we've got this piece. You know what? We could actually, we could punch both of these pieces if we wanted to. I'm just going to do it like I did it originally. This is the same. I've got a white piece and I've got a designer series paper piece, and they're the exact same dimensions. 6 3/4 by 3. 6 3/4 by 3. So for this one right here, we're just going to take it and we will glue this piece right here. So here's another opportunity for you. If you had like another like birthday greeting that you wanted to add to this card, you could do another little label here and do like a little nice little birthday saying or greeting or whatever. You could add that right there. Like maybe you have a pretty stamped birthday verse that you like to add. You could put that over here on this side. We've got this piece again, so let me show you how I punch that piece. So I have that corner facing me like this. So I'm going to come in with my top corner, punch it, turn it over like this, then turn it over like this, and then turn it over like this. And there is such a cute label piece. And then I thought it would be too plain just to leave it like that. So we also have this stem. There's 2 stems that come with that floral piece. This one is like a single stem. So what you could do, this time I recommend doing the flower first. So I'm gonna grab my gorgeous grape again, and I'm gonna take this and kind of put it right about there. Okay. Close this up. You could also do a die cut if you wish. Sometimes that's easier for some people to do that. But since this is the inside and I just wanted to be quick, just grab that and then just kind of position this coming like that. So pretty. And then we'll grab daffodil and just give this flower a center. Yesterday I was a little bit lazy and I only inked part of my ink pad because I just needed a little bit of the Daffodil Delight rather than ink the whole thing. So you can see part of my ink pad is darker than the other. So I just wanted to make sure that my words, since I was stamping in yellow, I hardly ever stamp in yellow. I wanted to make sure the yellow was bright enough to be seen. Okay, and then we're just going to glue this on here. And you know, if you were doing this for a friend, and if you were making these up in advance, you could maybe leave this piece just sitting loose, just in case you made a mistake. But this is where you would write your message. So this is the kind of the inside piece where you would write, you know, a little personal message, and you could do that right there on that piece. So then you just close this up. And oh, one thing I forgot, I've got a piece. This is the Parakeet Party metallic ribbon. And I'll just take a glue dot, a mini glue dot, and put it behind that knot. Then I'm going to kind of squish the mini glue dot into shape there. And then just add it right there. The parakeet colored ribbon actually is a very close match to the Granny Apple Green. I think metallics are very interesting because they pick up light, so they can work well with more than one color. So, but right now, don't you think that Parakeet Party ribbon looks more Granny Apple Green than Parakeet Party? So that just adds like a nice little addition. You can manipulate a little bit so it kind of comes out like that. So cute, right? And the one thing I did not do, which I probably could have done, is sprinkle this with some like jewels or gems just to make it sparkle and shine a little bit more. But you get the drift of the card, the chocolate card. It's kind of cool like that. And this is my other one since I only have one chocolate bar. But we'll just kind of tuck this one into like that. So cute, right? So you could do this in so many different colors, different paper. You could do it, you know, like this. You could do like a vertical one, so it acts more like a card like this. But cards are also opening like this. Don't forget, if you need envelopes, these are kind of your standard office envelopes that they mail an 8.5 by 11 sheet in. That's folded in 3, so that will fit right inside there. But you cannot mail it with regular mail like this, but this would, like, you could seal this up and then you could lay this on someone's desk. Doesn't look like too much, but I think once someone opens this up, stamp a little something on the front of your envelope too, right? And I think this would be just so cool. Have these on hand to give as gifts, like for, you know, unexpected birthday gifts that you need. It's just a nice little birthday card, not too expensive for the chocolate and everything. So I hope you liked that. And that came from this original box that my sister gave me. These are not the same size boxes though. Mine is a little bit larger. So mine is an XL chocolate bar. So just keep that in mind. I think this box might fit other chocolate, but you'll have to be careful with the sizing, because when I was at the store, there is all sorts of sizings of chocolate bars. So I did measure the bar here. Let me do that for you quick. I have a few minutes and I'm going to also read your comments. Let me just measure this chocolate bar. Okay, I'm measuring on the back. It's 3 3/8 inches wide by 7 1/8, and that's when things are squished down, like it's not all the way to the ends right here. That's when the actual, like, once the hard part of the chocolate. So that would be the maximum 3 3/8 by 7 1/8. The heart, like, so once it was squished down, that would be what you couldn't exceed those measurements if you want to use my size box. The width of this box here is 3/8 of an inch. So you couldn't go, like, if the chocolate bar was 3/8, it might be a little tight. This chocolate bar is just under 3/8 of an inch in width, so I was able to use 3/8. So you probably would be able to find another type of chocolate bar. Take your ruler to the store. I do that all the time. I'm the weirdo that stands at the candy aisle and looks at all the candy. And people must think I have a candy addiction because I'm there with my ruler and looking at all the chocolates longingly. But mainly it's because I want to see, what could I create with this? All right. Okay, so just a couple more things. My supply list is down below, and you can also pop over to my blog. I think I forgot to add my blog link because I set this all up last night. So after I get done here, I will update it with the direct link to my blog. My blog post should already be live over on my blog. I just don't have my link set up to it yet, but you should have everything you need. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment or use my contact form on my blog to reach me so I can answer your questions. All right, I am going to go to the beginning and say hello to all of you. I have a few minutes before I need to run to the dentist. Good morning, Ellie and Deb and Terry. We got you from Connecticut, Kansas, Texas, and Margot from California, and Patricia from Montana. Hello. And Elsie, good morning from Florida. Marty's in Pittsburgh. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Birgit from Germany. Um, Nancy says she's a little late this morning, or am I frozen in time? Well, I was a couple minutes after 9 a.m. Eastern, but usually I go live at 10 a.m. Marty said, good luck at the dentist. It should not be a big deal, but I don't want this thing to get worse. I have like a small crack in my tooth, and it needs that tooth is going to need like a small crown on it. So it's because it's small, they can do it all in one sitting, but I have to be there for like 3 hours. So it was something I had to schedule in advance. And so it's not going to be a big deal. I hope not. Anyway, it wasn't going to be a big deal. They had some issues. They have like the special camera that does the imaging for the tooth, and they can make the crown in house. But that camera had a part that had broken. And so I've been trying to do this like for, I think, like 4 months or something like that. And they didn't get the part before Christmas. They didn't have it in January. And then I had all of this stuff happen with my mom, and I was away, so I had to cancel another appointment. And so finally, this was the earliest appointment I could get. So it shouldn't be a big deal, but it's just one of those things. Teeth are teeth, and I'm so happy that we have good like we have this dentist these days that can fix our teeth, and I just can't even imagine what that would have been like 100, 200 years ago. It would have been awful, right? So we're so lucky to have all this intervention now. Marty said, "Oh, that's so sweet. Chocolates on the pillow." Yeah, I know. My sister is really super sweet. She's even with all the stress of my mom, she thought of me. I thought that was really sweet. Ellie says, very pretty card. Giant Hershey bar. I'm no Hershey expert. Yeah, that was a big Hershey's bar. Oh, and Marty said, and don't mail chocolate if the weather along the route is too warm. That's a really good point. I lived in Tennessee for 12 years. And yeah, you do not want to send, I think you're kind of at the borderline right now, but like any time from May 1st onwards in the South is not a good idea. April, you might still be able to get away with it. Hi, Carol. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm going to miss our walk today, Carol. Carol and I, we usually walk on Fridays, but I have this dentist appointment, so I can't walk today, but we'll walk next week. Good morning, Laura. And you've got rainy and cold in Ohio. Well, I'm sorry about that. I hope you have sunshine soon. Good morning, Deborah from the beach, you lucky girl. Good morning, Carol. Oh, and you made it for the first time. Yay, awesome. And she's in Florida, so I'm sure you're having beautiful weather as well. There's Amy, who just got back from spin class. Good morning. Good morning, Linda. I'm glad you like it. Sue said, sad to cover up that pretty paper. Yeah, it just looks better with the paper peeking out on the back, though. I had it originally, so it was just the white, but trust me, having that paper peeking out around there, you could use some paper that you don't love as much as well if you want to put that behind there. Just improvise, but I love the way that it actually looks. It just looks like it's in a garden or something like that. That paper, that Hues of Happiness paper is just gorgeous. Linda said, I love a challenge box. This sort of is. Yeah, you know what? It looks hard if you're precise in your placement, you should be fine. If you are someone that struggles with that, then maybe this isn't the best design for you. But it came together beautifully for me. So Sue says she's made this box before, but with a Velcro closure. Oh, wow. I have not seen it made before. So I was copying Hershey's for my box. So of course, I did my own measurements and everything, but she likes the tab closure. Well, you know, the tab on the Hershey's box, it was interesting because they cut it out of the cardstock. So I had to kind of figure out a way to kind of mimic that. So it just seemed to work out well with the oval punch. So thank you, Sue. Chris said, I can't read what it is. I'm pretty sure it's in Dutch, but hello, Chris. Laura says, very pretty. It would also make a great card without the box. Thank you. Yeah, you could do a card version of that as well. Carol says, such a great little gift. Love this. Thanks for showing us. Chris has some hand clap emojis. Thank you. Sue says, great box. Very pretty. Marty said, did I notice if the chocolate comes in dark chocolate or with almonds? I did not, Marty. Just be careful if you find one with almonds. It might be thicker. So you might just want to make sure it's not thicker than the other ones if you have one in the store that you can compare it with. Janet says, great box. She's in Ontario, Canada. Hello, Janet. And Marty said, the dimension on the front with the sending and flowers being die cut looks so good. I love this project. Well, on that note, thank you so much for all your comments and joining me this morning. And the project sheet will be sent off on Saturday. So I hope you'll make this project. Let me know how it turns out. And I hope you have a great weekend. And I will be back next week on Tuesday and Fridays at hopefully my normal times at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great weekend, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.